jumping in. Jumping in and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Shovel Knight Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. It is Creator. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Now, as a reminder, this is a prediction for the entirety of the series, not just the game. So best of luck. Best of luck in the chat, as predictions are open. We are going to be settling in. And again, we had a crazy intense back and forth between Geralt and ByuN. I'm sure he is a little bit winded from that series, but now it's time to jump back into another TvP. And Creator has been patiently waiting. He's been resting up, he's been ruminating over how he will approach this matchup. I'm excited to see how he differs to Geralt. Again, Creator, he usually plays his own style. Typically a little bit more old school. Like Creator, he's usually playing a little bit differently to how the current meta has shaped up. That is at least the case for some of his other matchups in PvZ and I would say PvT as well, but we'll see what he goes for this time. Our eyes are on Creator. He's also typically a little bit more creative or exploratory when it comes to certain cheeses or all-ins. Can mix it up. We do see, though, one gas opener out of ByuN. ByuN going for a Rax into CC on the low ground. He's going to be forced to throw it down off center, so a nice little win there for Creator. He does delay the CC by a couple of seconds as it will have to lift and land. Nothing major, but damage nonetheless. So nice done there by Creator. He pulls away. And also Creator, with this, he doesn't just delay the CC, but he scouts and he confirms the opener as well. He knows it's an economic build by ByuN. So with this Creator, he pulls away, getting into his own setup. Loading into a smaller map like this, I would expect to see Twilight Council play. It can be very risky opening up Stargate on these smaller maps. So our eyes are on Creator. We'll see what tech he goes for. A Robo opener is also an option. True, if you feel threatened, if you feel like your opponent's going to be hyper aggressive, you can go for a Robo. But based on the ranks expand, we shouldn't be seeing a Robo in this kind of game state. As Creator does open Adept into Sentry. Again, Sentry openers and Sentries early on. Speaking of Robo, there it is. It is a Robo opener. Now, I'm not too fond of this idea considering the economic start of his opponent. What is a Robo opener? Well, this gives you access to a couple of things early on. Early Observer, early Immortal, and early War Prism. And on top of that, early Bay. So we have options here. Basically, this is really defensive. The reason why I say this is because unlike Blink or unlike Phoenix-based openers, you do not gain map control, you do not shut down drop play, you're not able to achieve as much or maintain as much map control with a Robo instead of Blink or Phoenixes. Which is why Blink and Phoenix openers are much more commonplace, because they give the Protoss that map control. But do you see what I see? Extra gates, extra gateways, early mortar production. Based on these two gates, though, this feels more aggressive. Early Immortal is typically something to defend against an all-in, but with extra gateways, this could be Immortal into a War Prism, into like some kind of crazy, like Soul Train-esque 2-base all-in. So, Creator, he's cooking. let him cook, papi, let him cook. Twilight Council follow-up out of Creator, interesting. That means if he is going to be aggressive, he's going to be waiting for his follow-up. But there is that Prism that we expected. So Immortal into 3 gates into War Prism. He is going to be pushing across the map. Is this for like DTs and like early Archon production? Like what's the... what are we getting into? Meanwhile, drop has arrived. Marine drop into the main base. Hellions towards the natural. Creator is somewhat in position. Oh my god, but they do line up. 3 Hellions, they one-shot probes. That's going to be 6 workers going down already. And 6 probes do fall. 8 probes even. As Marines are still in the main. So the main base going for the Stalker. He wants it and he gets it as well. Stalker does go down. And we're going for charge. Not Blink. Charge is on the way. This is looking quite committed, but this damage here is pretty intense. 8 probe kills already. And Creator, he does move out. Bearing in mind he can warp in 3 units at a time. And we'll see what Creator can get done. Again, this is an interesting build, to say the least, out of Creator. We'll see how it all comes together. I mean, I did say earlier that he's a little bit more exploratory when it comes to his builds in these matchups. I mean, true. We can see that here. There's some of the add-ons. Vikings on the way. Creator, he should be fine. He should not lose anything here. He saves the Zealot and he saves the Immortal. Remember, there's no stim. This early on, there is no stim and there are no Vikings, so Creator, he is safe to poke in, to get some damage. He's getting his third base. But this early charge timing is interesting to me. I'm curious if he plans on going for an all-in. Now, the reason why I say this is because there's no Forge. There is no Forge, there's no +1. He's not taking gases. Yep, more gates on the way. I'm expecting even more. I'm expecting more gateways out of Creator. Dropping further in. Deny some mining time. And yep, more gates. Yeah, more gateways here. Oh, but we are going for a bay. So I'm getting mixed signals. The gateway explosion makes sense if we were going for a Zealot all-in, but the gases and a bay tells us that we do intend to saturate. We do intend to saturate the gases, more importantly, and take up into Colossus. So we're headed towards a longer game state. Headed towards a longer game state here. We're kind of like Frankensteining our way there, but we're getting there. Unfortunately, we're going to be working with 0-0 upgrades for an extended period of time. ByuN getting into +1. Building up his Raxes. Third TC's on the way. ByuN working in towards that mid game. Checking Creator's vision. He did not scout the CC. But he is saturating. He's saturating. Now we get the Forge. It's going to be a delayed Forge here by Creator. As he does catch that Raven. So nice pickoff. Raven goes down. ByuN is being active. The Observer does spot the drop. Creator knows. There he has some Zealots in position. Yeah, there we go. He does reinforce. Again, he saw the drop. And is moving in. Creator taking up with expansion. Drop is deflected. Good reaction by ByuN. And we have a game. We have a game here. We're getting to the mid-game. It's been an awkward way to get here, is what I will say. It's been very different, but I appreciate it. I always appreciate casting Creator because of that. They've gone here in a different way. Again, still very Zealot-centric. Now, one of the big weaknesses of this composition that he's going for, as you can imagine, no anti-air. No anti-air here. This almost reminds me of the weakness of Lingbane into Ultra, where we have Charge Lot into Colossus, and there's no Blink Stalkers, there's no Phoenixes. These drops, as a result, have potential to get damage done and to just pull Creator apart. Because of the lack of anti-air. Like ByuN, he shouldn't really be losing much. Picks up a pylon, spots the Colossus, spots the Zealots. ByuN pulls away. So far, Creator, he is keeping up. He's splitting up his forces. He has a force here at the 4th, at the 3rd, and in the main. Again, because Creator knows that he has no anti-air, he has to pre-split his army to make sure he's ready for whatever comes next. Meanwhile, ByuN, he's not going for drop play. He's going for one main frontal push. As he moves out, he's reinforcing with Vikings, with Ghosts as well. Does get ahead of time. Creator, he's pre-spread his army, so he's not quite in position. He's not ready for this. Tanks will siege. ByuN sims in, and he zones Creator away. The base is going to go down. Free pick off. Creator coming in, though. Coming from behind. Trying to hold on. Vikings collapsing in. Nice control with the Prism. Does save the Colossus. The tanks are going down. And Creator, with this angle of attack, he's holding on. He survives. He defends. Whew. A very, very, very close fight there. You can see how low the Colossus got, but they survive. They all live. They survive. He holds. Creator holds on. He was able to clean up those tanks. Behind this, ByuN going for a second starport. So reinvest into those Vikings. Likewise, now we have Blink on the way. Yo, 10-minute blink. Let's go. Getting into blink, getting to a second forge, +2. Again, creator, he's getting to a more ideal army. Something more well-rounded. He's almost there. Likewise, now investing into disruptors. I would love to see a second robo, extra gases, 5th base is on the way. But without that second robo, these Colossus are going to be vulnerable. I mean, his army is going to be vulnerable to like a Remax. He's going to be struggling to Remax, I should say. I mean, the answer to that is like, oh, just don't lose your units. True. Just don't lose the Colossus, you'll be fine. Not wrong. Easier said than done. Just on the way. ByuN pushing through the center. Massing up more Vikings. He's on how many? He's on 6 Vikings so far. Soon to be 10. Soon. Dustin forward. Once again, Creator collapsing in from both angles. Boss taking a lot of hits. Takes a massive volley. ByuN this time, he does not push past that ramp. He doesn't push past the choke point. Doesn't test his luck. He's been burned before. So he pulls away, building up more Vikings. He attempts to run by. ByuN gets his 4th base up and running, about to morph into a planetary. He's still sharking around, looking for a way in. He finds the army. Oh, guessing EP up. Never doesn't connect. Vikings, they shut down one of the Colossus. Sims in, Creator coming in from behind, trying to set us around. Does try it too, but once again, ByuN, he's careful. He pulls away. He knows that he's in danger of being surrounded. ByuN being careful. Shuts down the Zealot run by. As ByuN pulls away, we have the Fusion Core. That's going to be for Liberators. Liberators are on the horizon. And we saw how powerful they can be against Geralt. And we're getting there here against Creator. Almost there. Goes off. Vikings, they do get a Colossus. They get one so far, but the Vikings, they overextend. And they're almost completely reset. Does get both Colossus though. Ooh, got the second one as well. Very nice. Worth it there for ByuN. Colossus count down to 1. Nice EMP, no recall. So behind the middle line, takes down 7 probes. On 7 workers, ByuN pushing forward. Once again, lands a decent EMP here on the main army. Has to respect the Nova. Oh, massive connection. Nova goes off. There's one more left. Tells Grace the army. And Creator holds. Creator, he holds on. ByuN, he plummets in supply. He did throw away a lot there in that fight. And Creator, for the first time in a long time, he counterattacks. He's done defending. It's time to push. Creator does have that supply lead. And ByuN, he needs more time to rebuild. Getting to Liberators. Expansion is exposed. Nova once again zones away. Does graze the army. CC force a lift. There's a cancellation on the CC. Command center gets cancelled. 3rd base does lift up. And he's even going for the kill. And he will get it. One more volley. And the base falls. Creator doing well here. He's maxed. He's maxed out. Liberators, they only just popped out. So there's not many of them. Creator, he has enough. He has momentum. But he doesn't know about top left. Does not yet know. So keeping up with the main army. Does keep up. Creator, he does rotates. Once again, trying to catch ByuN out of position. Oh my god, the freedom is here. A lot of freedom. Colossus rallies into the army. Uh-oh. Colossus rallies in, goes down for free. Decent EMP on those Archons. And Creator, he does spot the expansion. He knows. Does spot the planetary. Boys are being pulled. ByuN going for a base trade. He knows top left is going to go down, so he takes down the center left. Planetary's going to fall. There's a recall. Recall. He lets it finish. Oh, he sets up. Yeah, wow, he does let it finish. He will shut this down. The Stalkers do fall. Colossus barely saved. Cheeky move there by ByuN. That was... Yo, that was evil. He saw the recall and he stopped fighting. He just stopped shooting. He's like, come at me. Oh my god. And now ByuN, he skyrockets ahead. The Creator, he lost all of his army. He's racing back home. Nova goes off. Teaser connection. But ByuN, he has the main. He controls the main base. That recall was not it. Even ByuN knew it. Is that okay? You want a recall? Sure. Aye, aye, aye. And with that, 28 workers going to be going down the base as well. ByuN, he saves top left. Creator, he will clean this up. He forces ByuN back. Oh, does force him to pick up. But behind this, ByuN, he's now up in workers. He's up in bases. He's taking another expansion. The Liberators are set up. And ByuN just has a massive advantage. In one fell swoop, one fight, all it takes. As in one fight, he crippled the army and the economy. And Creator, he's all in. At this point, he's committed. He's trying to take another expansion. He's down to less than 50 workers. He has to find a base. If he can knock down an expansion, he can even things up. Moving forward. That's a lot of freedom. That's a lot of freedom here for ByuN. Never does connect. He does blink in. He blinks into the liberation zones. Oh my god, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be a meat grinder. Yeah, ByuN, he sims forward. Stalkers are falling one after the other. Army comes in from behind. And the Liberators, they stand strong. They stand strong. They're finally going to be going down. Oh, likewise, Immortals, they come in to defend. Okay, Creator, he breaks through. Breaks through that defensive line. The Immortals, they did well against the Marauders. CC goes down. And ByuN, he's in trouble. He's in trouble here. He lost all the libs. And Creator, he does deny an expansion. And just like that, Creator takes an economic lead. He is ahead economically. Can he push up this ramp? That I'm less certain of. But he might try to. Okay, there's the Immortals, they do a lot in the back line. Ooh, Disruptor goes down. Creator, he does feel pressured. Chips away here at the wall. You see ByuN going back into Viking production. Makes sense against two Colossus. Does need those Vikings. Oh. Does need them. Creator double expanding. Takes bottom right and center left. He's re-expanding. Has a comparable army. Still very tense. Planetary will defend. For a time. Oh. ByuN moving forward, forced to fight. It doesn't quite have enough here to fight head on. Has the guy back. Does have the guy back. Stalkers to stay out of range of the planetary. SCVs are going down. This is brutal damage. Creator, can he bounce back? Can he bring it back, man? He's close. He has 0 disruptors. Doesn't have any disruptors. He's got those 2 Colossi. There are plenty of Vikings, though. At this point, I want to see ByuN go back into Liberators. I feel like we have enough Vikings for two Colossus. Speaking of Colossus, they're going to go down one after the other. That's EMP on those Immortals. And the Colossus will fall. Likewise, Prism as well. Vikings from here they can land. They find another Colossus. And ByuN, he takes the fight. Does take the fight. At the same time, though, he lost every single SCV. 18 workers going down. The economy is being crippled. That was still an expensive loss for Creator, though. That's the problem. It isn't a cheap army to lose all those Immortals and Robo and Colossus. It's not cheap. Likewise, ByuN does preserve his economy. Creator, he has nothing at home to defend. He's barely hanging on. If ByuN were to move out with a drop, then he could find so much damage, but for now, he's focusing on his defense. Gets a Stalker. SCV ready. Does take down a Stalker. Creator making 2 Colossus at a time. He's building up. The Viking count is still solid, but you can see here Creator intentionally focusing down those Vikings. Does intentionally focus them down. There's the recall. Colossus is revealed. Vikings they lift. TvP doesn't quite connect. Colossus is going to go down. What about the Vikings? Sorry, what about the Zealots? Zealots they break through. They get on top of the Ghost. Massive pickups. Viking count gets reset. ByuN stims in. Colossus, be careful. Rallying out. Does rally out. Has joined forces with the main army. Now there's 0 Vikings. The Colossus can stand strong. Out to 2. 2 Colossus. Creator does take a supply lead. And ByuN, he doesn't know about center left. He doesn't know about this base. If he did, I'm sure he'd move out for it. He does not know. Creator getting up to 4. There's a scan. Now he knows. Yeah, there's a scan. Now he realizes what's going on. But this base has been mining for so long. ByuN taking another CC. And ByuN, he can't push into this. Not anymore. Not into 4 Colossus. It's not going to happen. Not with a ByuN army. Creator looking good. I would actually give him the edge here. I'd give him the advantage. Without Liberators or Vikings, like Mass Marine Marauder Ghost, it's just going to melt. Does depend on the angle of attack, of course. Speaking of, Creator collapsing in. Colossus move forward. Snipes going up. Oh. And you can see ByuN just cannot get on top of those Colossi. There's 4 of them already. 4 of them move in. They do spend some shots here on the Marauders. But the ByuN army melts. Here come reinforcements, and Creator, he does it. He breaks through. GG gets called. And Creator will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Let's go. GG, well played, Creator. He does take a lead in the series, but that was only game 1. A very intense, very back and forth game here. Crazy build by Creator early on, going for a Robo opener into Immortal, into like Charge Lot, into like delayed Colossus, delayed upgrades as well. It was a very chaotic build there by Creator, but you know, we got into a solid mid game, and even then it was very back and forth, very close, very back and forth. Creator, he got away with some hidden bases, or I should say unscouted bases, was able to maintain his economy. There was some better moments for ByuN, if you recall, like the recall. The moments that Creator recalled to that expansion, he lost his army, he lost his bases, lost his economy, but Creator, he instantly counterattacked, instantly, and he was able to get enough damage. He reset the army. GG. GG, well played, very chaotic, and Creator takes the lead. Let's go. Let us go. I think the extra gateways are in case Creator is forced to defend. The extra gateways, the reason why I indicated that it was more aggressive was because, if you recall, there was no forge. The lack of forge indicated the lack of preparation for a longer game state, which is why we assumed it was going to be something more aggressive and more committed, if you recall, during the cast. But here we go, we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Shopify, of Leylands, we have the South Korean Terran player for Shopify Rebellion down in the series, but it's a best of 5. Plenty of games ahead of us. Can he bounce back? Can he tie things up? It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, leading the series 1-0. We'll see if we can extend that lead. It is Creator. And a big factor in that game that we didn't really get to mention, we brought it up at the start of the game, if you remember, when we were talking about the potential Stargate opener. We were talking about how on a map as small as Ultra Love, we did not expect Stargate play because it is so risky to get away with because of how small the map is. Then we didn't really bring up the size of the map afterwards. But because the map is so small, it also allowed for these big counterattacks. We saw that it didn't take long at all for an army to move from one end of the map to the other. I'm specifically referring to Creator after defending against the drop in the main base, counterattacking and breaking the third base and pushing into the natural of ByuN. Again, it took seconds to go from one end to the other, and part of that was because the map itself. Part of the punishment that ByuN was receiving from some cleaned up drops were thanks to the map itself, and that is something that isn't going to be as applicable here on ley lines, but is definitely something that did impact game number 1. Here we're loading into a larger map, longer rush distance by ground, so counterattacks, they do take longer to move from one end to the other, from base to base. So there is a greater defender's advantage on this map, more so than on Ultra Love. But here we are going to be settling in. Double gas. Interesting. Double gas opener this time by ByuN. If you recall, on Ultra Love, we had an economic opener. We had a single gas into Rax Expand out of our Terran player. Here, it's going to be double gas into what exactly? We can go Reactor Reaper Hellion. That's what we're starting off with. We have Reactor Reaper on the way into Hellion support. But from here, we can go into an earlier Tech Lab. We can go into an earlier add-on. Ooh, that is not Hellion. That is going to be Widowmine. Okay, Widowmine follow-up. This should lead into a Widowmine drop. So we have our initial opener of choice here from ByuN. Back across the map, we have Creator likewise settling in. And I expect to see, I expect to see a Twilight Council opener, but 2 games in a row, Robo opener out of Creator. Interesting. We do have a Robo for the second time in this series. Now, once again, to reiterate, typically a Robo opener is more of a safer way to play, and I guess that's still applicable to the last game, because you get earlier Immortals, you get earlier Colossus production, you can get earlier Observer as well, earlier detection and scouting. So very safe start here by Creator, and I actually like this opener a lot more for the Protoss against a double gas build. So I do like this a lot more here for Creator, more so than the previous game. Reapers, they get into the middle line, they get 1, they get 2 probes. 2 workers going down. And we do clean up those Reapers. Alas, the initial opener was scattered. Once again, it's going to be Immortal first. Now, if you remember, last game it was Immortal first into a Prism, into an early Twilight Council, into early Charge, into an attempted move out. Because of ByuN's aggression, Creator, he couldn't really reinforce across the map. But so far, same build. Twilight Council, this should be Charge. This should be Charge. We shouldn't be seeing a Forge into a Prism, into an early move out. Same build. Meanwhile, ByuN does move out. Oh. Does move out, going for his Widowmine drop. Alas, he's going to be scouted. He's going to be shut down. Widowmine's forced to land. Is going to be Observer next, out of Creator. So, Immortal into Observer. I'm here trying to chase down that Prism, or that Medevac. There's that charge on the way, again, as we expected. Just like the previous game. Oh, nice Mind Shot does target the Stalker. And miscontrol there from Creator does pull away. And just like last game, yep, Immortal into War Prism. So this is to move out across the map. Now, last game we saw that Creator, he didn't really make full use of this. He was only dropping with 1 Zeld and 1 Immortal. And that was because Creator, if you recall, he lost 8 probes at the start of the game to Hellion run-bys. So he lost a lot of workers, so he couldn't really afford to reinforce and be aggressive. This time, he might be able to do so. So we might see a more ideal execution of this build here in game 2. As he does expand and take a third. He does take a much faster third base. Back at home, ByuN going for his add-on swaps, getting to his own 3-1-1 setup into Stim. And just like the last game, it is another gateway explosion. So we'll see if Creator sticks to this build every game in this series, because this seems to be at least what he's more comfortable with. There are some inefficiencies here, or there are some downsides to this build, as I mentioned before, when it comes to lack of upgrades, likewise lack of anti-air, lack of denial of drop play. We can even see this Raven wreaking havoc, getting a couple of probe kills. Does get one. So there are definitely vulnerabilities to this build, but regardless, Creator, he's embracing it. This time he's able to reinforce, able to warp in more zealots. He's waiting for charge to complete, and once the third base is done, now he starts up the bay and the forge. So delayed tech out of Creator. And I was imagining that he would move out, but it looks like instead he's preparing to receive an army. So he's being more defensive. Observer gets sniped. Creator is staying back. And here comes the move out. Here comes the move out from ByuN. And I want to say the Creator should be okay here. Like, again, this build, what it accomplishes is early Immortal, early Prism, early Charge, early Zealots. It does feel like he's going to have an army to contend against this, but we'll see. Stim is done and +1 is about to finish. There are force fields. And depending on how Creator force fields this army, he can deal with this. No moves in. Tank boy is going up. Force fields, they lock down one Immortal, not ideal. They work against the Zealots. ByuN, Brutal Missile goes up. And he does stim in, he wants to go for the kill. Does want to go for the kill here. Cleans up the Zealots, more reinforcements on the way. See Creator barely holding on with these charge lots. He's holding. Zealots are coming from behind, and yeah, he's going to clean this up. He's going to shut this down. And it does feel like that's what this build is kind of designed for. This is why I like this more against double gas instead of the more economic start in game 1. Because Creator, he forgoes tech, he forgoes upgrades in favor of a greater army early on, and he survives. So just a really defensive style here by Creator, and ByuN kind of plays into it. So he does play into it. Colossus now arrives. Match going up. But overall, Creator, he's shutting down this army, and Creator, he will take a lead. Cleans up everything. And Creator, he can soon get ready for a counterattack. Like, again, Creator, he wanted ByuN to be aggressive, and ByuN, he played into it. He played into it so well. He was kind of dancing to the music of Creator. And now ByuN, he's falling behind. He lost how much? He lost Marines, lost a tank, 5 Marauders, the Raven, 7 Widow Mines, and for what? For mainly Zealot. A very cheap army here from Creator. Very cheap. And now as time goes on, now he's catching up when it comes to those upgrades. He's building up the Colossus count, and he's getting ready for eventually breaking out across the map. As he's been absorbing the blows of ByuN. And I would say that this has been a more effective build so far in Game 2 than in Game 1. Again, just because in Game 1, ByuN wasn't as aggressive. It wasn't as committed. So Creator is in a better position. Likewise, getting to Blink. Temple Archives into Storm. Creator still just focusing on defending, on being on his side of the map. Now, I do think there was a missed opportunity. I think after the initial defense, if Creator, instead of going for another expansion, if he had thrown down like 2 more gateways then and there and reinforced and then moved across the map, I think he could have broken ByuN. I think ByuN was vulnerable, and I think Creator had the opportunity to break him. But instead, Creator, he's just being more defensive. He's just being more passive. He's waiting for Storm, for Blink. He wants to build up towards a greater army instead. Doesn't want to risk it. Doesn't want to risk counterattacking and failing. Spending a stream more probes. At the same time, drop here towards the top side. There's a cannon in position. Again, you can see cannons being thrown at the 3rd, at the 4th. Shield batteries as well. Like Creator, he's turtling up. Or at least he's trying to. He's taking this more defensive role. See if he can hold on. Nice EMP. EMP goes up first. Colossus goes down. Also, they come in from behind. Oh, they bet out some of those mine shots. But still, ByuN, he does out-trade the Gateway Army. Takes down the Stalkers. Takes down the Zealots. These are rough trades here for Creator. But he will hold. will defend. As opposed to typically where Creator mainly loses Zealots, here he lost a Colossus and he lost a lot of Stalkers. That was how many? That was 9 Stalkers going down. Ooh, and looks like now the counterattack has been triggered. Creator, he does move out. And back at home, I mean, there's nothing. There's 2 Widow Mines and some reinforcements. Back at home, Creator, he's trying to hold on with the Colossus. Going for the CC. The CC is going to go down, and Creator, he's just all over ByuN. Again, punishing ByuN's aggression. The CC is going to be killed. There's no escaping this. And honestly, Creator, he can move up this ramp. Again, this army is not large enough to stop Creator entirely, but Creator, he's playing it safe. Once again, kills the 4th, backs off. Kills the 4th, backs off, retreats. Maintains his lead. Again, it's been a very careful play so far this game. Never looking to overextend. Never being overly aggressive. Never risking it. Like, I'm gonna take this little win. I'm gonna back off. Wait, I'm good. I'm gonna back off, take another base, take another expansion, and get further ahead. Getting to +3, second robo for disruptors. And ByuN is in a rough place. We've been giving a lot of praise here to Creator. ByuN, right now, he needs to, he needed to go for drop play. Now it's going to be a little more difficult. Now there's Blink Stalkers, true. But he needs to be aggressive himself. He needs to deny bases, get into mineral lines. He can't be stuck at home. But alas, whenever he moves out, he's punished now. The Observer sees everything. And Creator, he sees the army. He engages, he wants those ghosts. He gets one. Takes out one of the ghosts. And now we have disruptors. Now disruptors have arrived. Now Creator has more pushing power. Let's try to push up the ramp. EMP goes off. Where are those Novas? Nova's out away. There's one more Nova left. Oh! Does connect. Decent connection. The last Creator, he gets called out. Please have the disruptors. Please have the Colossus as well. And Creator, he does overextend. And he'll be losing a lot of this army. Losing another Colossus. With those reinforcing zealots, so he's holding on. He does hold. The turtle has seen better times. Aye, aye, aye. But witness to everything. And Creator, he retreats. This was a really awkward fight for Creator. He basically tried to push up this ramp. He got flanked. And as a result, he bled out a lot of his Stalkers, a lot of his Zealots. In the end, his Disruptors and Colossus. So very awkward engagement there for Creator. And ByuN, he wins that fight. Does outtrade his opponent. And now he regains his 4th. His 4th base is now up and running. ByuN, he's back in this game. Fight did go his way. From here, ByuN, he can now take a 5th base. Is getting to 3/3 upgrades. Pushing forward. Mass EMP. EMP goes up. Stims up the ramp. And takes down the Immortal. Immortal goes out, but he's pushing into 4 Colossus once again. That's a lot of Colossus. Every time. As he moves out, so DT counterattack comes in. 15 oh my god, 15 SCVs. Late reaction, late response. We have a DT at the natural, DT in the main. 19 worker kills. Aye, aye, aye. I mean, even we were focusing on the main push. ByuN was distracted, so were we. 19 workers do fall. And Creator, he does take an economic lead. I guess be careful not to be too excited. Stalkers are about to get surrounded. Uh-oh. Yeah, he should not be here. We do get a surround. He does try to find a way out. He trades. It takes out one ghost. But he loses everything. Ooh, that's what that brutal loss here for Creator. Gets caught out of position. And the problem here is that he needs those Stalkers to what? To protect the Colossus against the Vikings. He needs that anti-air. Now he's down to what? 5 Stalkers. He has to rebuild. He has to warp in. More Stalkers on the way. ByuN is maxed. So again, ByuN just out-positioning Creator. Does catch him out. Going for the Colossus. Popping up. Does save it. Never goes up. Oh, no connection. And the first Colossus does fall. Down to 3. See Creator, he's rebuilding that 4th Colossus. He's rebuilding. Seeing smart against Terran, like ByuN in particular, I agree. If you're referring to this more defensive style out of Creator, 100%. Like it's countering ByuN, at least in the early to mid game, really well. Here, now we have more of an even back and forth. I would even give ByuN a slight edge. But in the lead up to this, like, Creator was in a better position, 100%. But upon losing all those Stalkers, now things are looking a little bit bleaker. ByuN going for a split push. We'll see if Creator can keep up. As ByuN is maxed. And ByuN has a super maxed army. What does that mean? ByuN only has 54 CVs. He barely has any workers. He has mainly army supply. Pushing up the ramp. It's going to be forced back though. Doesn't quite get on top of the Colossus. And remember, ByuN only fighting with half his army. The other half being left idle. There we go. Does get activated. Going for bottom right. But that's after the fight. That's after the engage. And Creator, he can always... I don't think it's wise to recall here. Yeah. I mean, there's the EMP. Base goes down. Nice pickoff. The expansion falls. ByuN has to be so careful. Like, my biggest concern here is that because ByuN's SCV count is so low, because his bank is low as a result, it means that if he will lose one fight, it's going to be difficult to rebuild. It's going to be very difficult to rebuild and remax. As he's making 6 Marauders at a time. Jesus, that's a lot of Marauders. Likewise, he's built up towards 12 Vikings. Oh, it does misclick, kills his own ghost. Sending a message to the other ghosts. As Creator is distracted by this force on the right-hand side, we have a massive counterattack on the left, and the Colossus, so they get caught out. One Colossus goes down. Nova grazes the army, but Creator, he was distracted. He's losing ground. Yeah, he's being pulled apart left and right. Creator, he cannot keep up. Bases are falling. Creator, he's stuck in the middle. He doesn't know where to go. Does recall. He will save the northern base. Oh, just barely will try to save it. Tries to go in for the surround. He will force back the army. He saves the Nexus, but he will lose bottom right. He had to choose one. He will lose the other. TT is warping in. They get EMP'd. Creator still trying to keep up. Oh my god, Nova goes up. Creator, he holds. Creator, he holds on. He does need a counterattack here and now. ByuN, he did fight well, but he's losing all the Immortals. Sorry, all the Marauders. The Immortals, they pop off. Go for the center base. Creator has to consolidate his army. Trying to bring everything together. Trying to. Likewise, setting up a flank. Army's moving in. Down to 1 Viking for ByuN. It's going to be difficult to break that planetary. And likewise, we saw the last time what that happened, or last time the Creator tried to push up this ramp. This time does get in. Does push forward. ByuN, he cannot flank. Again, ByuN, he didn't have the best economy coming into this. Ooh, brutal connection. And the base is going to be denied. Nova once again grazes the army. There's 1 Nova left. Viking count is building up. He's up to 4 Vikings now. Up to 4 Vikings. Warping in more Zealots. Oh, the CC does overextend. Nova's going up. Oh, they do connect. Yeah, brutal connections. And Creator, he's done it. He's done it. He breaks through. GG gets called. And Creator, he takes a 2-0 lead. Whew, GG. Let's go. GG, well played. Creator, he does take a lead here. Again, ByuN had a great move when it came to going for the split push, but remember, ByuN, he didn't really have a bank to work with because of the lower CV count, so he was very committed. He was very committed. Once he lost his army, he could not rebuild, not fast enough, and he was overwhelmed. He was overwhelmed by Creator. Whew, as Creator does snowball out of control, and with that, Creator takes a 2-0 lead. But again, very close. Both game 1 and game 2 have been very close, very clutch. They've come down to the wire. And now we're loading into Frostline. Frostline going to be a larger map, true. It's going to be a larger map, more exposed bases. I do favor aggressive play on this map. I do favor ByuN coming into this. I do think it is difficult to play creator's style on Frostline. We'll get into it. We will get into it, but here we go. Loading in. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have our South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss from South Korea, leading the series 2-0, one game away from claiming the series. It is Creator. And our eyes need to be on Creator here. Does he open up Robo for a third game in a row? I'm not too fond of the idea here on Frostline. Welcome 1-0 to Frostline. Frostline is a larger map. And because it's a larger map, you might be thinking, oh, does that mean, it's more macro-based, it's more defendable? The answer is no. It is a large map, but specifically, the third base and the fourth base are much more exposed. They're much more exposed. There are two very wide ramps coming into the triangular third, which means it is easier for the aggressing player to get a concave, to go up the ramp and to get a concave over the defending player, so it is so difficult to defend this. Likewise here as well, also a very large ramp. On top of that, these two bases are very spread out. They're very spread out, they're very isolated from each other, so early on a 4-base economy, it is difficult for a defending player to keep up with rotations towards this base and this base as well, defending them at the same time, or one at a time. So it can be very difficult to be defensive on this map. So if Creator tries the same style, I don't know if it's going to be as effective. Not saying that he won't win, but just saying that it's going to be more difficult to pull off here on Frostline. We'll see. Double gas. Once again, double gas open out of ByuN, so it is going to be an aggressive start from our Terran player. We saw last game this led into Reacted Reaper, into Widowmine drop, into a more aggressive tank move out early on. It did lead into a tank push, and if you remember, the tank push was cleaned up. It was 3 tanks and a bio army with, I want to say, 1 or 2 medevacs pushing towards the third base, if you remember at the start of the game. And Creator, he got a full surround. He cleaned up the army with the Immortal, with the charge timing. He completely shut ByuN down. But it's going to be difficult to pull off that same defense here on Frostline. We'll see. We'll see if ByuN goes for the push. Likewise, what kind of tech do we go for? Stalker into Sentry. This has been the go-to here for Creator. Again, the Sentry does allow for a Hallucination Scout. Creator going for the early shield battery. Does set up. Meanwhile, ByuN going for his 1-1-1 after the CC, of course. And same build. Same build, it's going to be a Robo opener. So same build, 3 games in a row from Creator going for a Robo. This should lead into early Immortal, blindly early Immortal, into early Twilight Council, into Charge, into Gateways. Again, a very defensive setup here by Creator. And we'll see if it works on Frostline. That's what I'm most curious by. Like, I feel like it's not going to be as effective, but, I mean, Creator, he's here to prove us wrong. Meanwhile, ByuN setting up that tech lab, going for the medevac. Getting ready for the early drop. And from here, ByuN, I imagine, is going to be going for early tank production. We'll see if that's the case. Like, we know what Creator's doing, but what is ByuN up to? Ooh. Okay, add-on swap. I'm going for the add-on swap instead. Are we opening up Banshee or Raven? If it's Raven, it's just a standard opener. If it's Banshee, more aggressive. There's the add-on swap. What do you have for us? Banshee. Let's go. So it's going to be Tank Banshee. Tank Banshee here out of ByuN. If you recall, ByuN did this build on El Dorado against Geralt earlier today. And if you remember, Geralt, he was able to shut this down. Meanwhile, the hallucination sees everything. Oh my god, he sees everything. Mate. Ay. Creator, he dives into the main. He sees everything in the main base as well. Confirms, and yep, there we go. Add-on swap. We deviate away. We cancel Cloak. We cancel the tank production. ByuN, he's forced away from his own aggressive build. Mindrill comes in. Takes down a Zealot. Takes down a couple of probes. Creator holds. Creator, he does hold on. But again, ByuN, he goes for a hard switch out of his initial aggressive build of Tank Banshee into Marine Production, into Stim. And it's going to be on Creator to confirm that now suddenly this isn't an aggressive build. But already Creator's in a better position because now suddenly this is an inefficient build out of ByuN, as his Stim and his bio is going to be delayed more so than usual because of the attempted Banshee play. And remember, Cloak was cancelled. Like, it was cancelled, Tank Production was cancelled. It was all cancelled. The mic goes down. Now the Vanilla Banshee headed towards the natural. Creator should be aware of this, but last not quite in position. But now being kept busy by the drop, going for his own prison harasser across the map. The shield battery means that nothing dies, and the Banshee takes a lot of hits. Ooh, takes a lot of damage. We'll survive. We'll get out. And Creator is moving in for his counterattack. Now, more importantly, Creator, he's about to scout. He could actually deny Stim. Could go for Stim. Speaking of, he's going for it. Can he? He can. Yeah, he can, and he will. Stim is going to be denied. Massive pickup. May Creator. Papi, calm down. Este Creator. Oh, we should. Okay, there we go. It's okay. Takes some extra damage. Does pull away. With that, ByuN, he takes the third CC. He's going to miss his timing. ByuN, he's stuck at home. And Creator, he's free to expand, to take up. We have a Forge on the way. Bay, Charge, Gateway Explosion. Oh, does miss this move out, though. Creator out of position. Hellion diving in. Hellion Reaper into the main. Warpin will lock this down. Creator defends. And Creator, he's ahead. He's in a very good position here. He has been shutting ByuN down at every turn. And ByuN is stuck at home. Like, what's he gonna do? Go for, I mean, he has to go for a drop. I was gonna say, what's he gonna do? Drop without Stim? I mean, what else can he do? So he's moving out. I believe this observer is a little bit too far on the right hand side, so may have caught a glimpse, but looks like it hasn't. Yeah, we're moving out with Spotter Probe, Spotter Observer. Prison back into the main. This time charge is none. We'll focus on one SCV. Gets one SCV. And again, Creator, he's safe to do this because there's no Stim. There's no Stim, so Prism is safe and sound. Drop is spotted. Creator knows. Creator collapsing in. Does spot the drop. And will force it back. Medevac takes a lot of hits. And Creator takes a fourth. Now, what I said earlier about defending your third and fourth base on this map being difficult still is applicable here. But Creator just has such a comfortable... He's in such a comfortable position that it may just not be a factor. We'll see as ByuN is moving out. And this is still a hefty army. Like, this is still an army to be respected. Stim is now done. He has combat shields. He has +1. About to have concussive shell as well. Like, this is a terrifying army. What's important? Creator sees it. He sees the army rotation. He's getting in position. He's about to have 2 Colossus. He's about to have his own +1. And we'll see if Creator can hold. Likewise, some supplies tied up because of this medevac. Oh, scan reveals hallucination. And ByuN, he does Stim in. Mind Shield going up. On the Observer. But alas, the Colossus, they do well enough. Yeah, they defend. Creator, he defends with the bare minimum. Does break through. Back at home. Nothing in position, but the medevac is not activated. Regardless, Creator holds. Creator, he does hold. Medevac moves in. Pulls away. Creator, he noticed. Yeah, he saw the medevac with the Nexus. Creator, he does respond. ByuN going for a split push. You can see he's reinforcing on the left, and he leaves a portion of his army on the right. So he's getting ready for a split push. Likewise, Creator, he also splits up his army. So one Colossus towards the top side, one Colossus towards the south. ByuN rotating. Trying to figure out where he wants to go. Observer does spot one army. The other not quite. But again, Creator, he is ready. Does confirm. And he will shut this down. Forces ByuN back. There's only one Colossus towards the top side, which is concerning. And this is a large army from ByuN. He does them in. Decent force fields. Creator, he reinforces just in time. So far, so good. And again, so important here, so crucial that Creator has these observers. Like, he's seeing these rotations, but now ByuN, he commits. He rotates with everything. So does Creator. A little bit late to respond, though. A little bit late. Colossus, they're still on the way. ByuN stims in. Does stim, takes down the shield battery. Shield battery falls, Colossus under fire, does save it. Hot pickup there at a Creator. But the Prism is going to be targeted. And the first Colossus falls. Only the first. The other under fire. Vikings are being targeted down. Second Colossus goes down. But Creator, he holds on. He does defend, saves the expansion, saves the Nexus. Survives with one Colossus. Second Rover's on the way, getting two Disruptors, rebuilding the Colossi. And Creator, he holds. He holds on and he sneaks out another Nexus. He's crazy. Takes the northern base. ByuN has to retreat. He did have a good angle of attack, don't get me wrong. He was able to get a good concave. But again, he was pushing into 3 Colossi. Didn't quite break through. Oh. Leaves out a couple of Marauders. Very nice control here by Creator. Very nicely done. And I still do favor Creator in this position. As ByuN is just now getting his 4th. Getting his 2nd starport into Mass Viking. And if Creator, if he wins this series, I'm gonna message him. I want to ask him about this build, just because the reason why I've been so fascinated about it from the start of the series is because he's the only one doing this. So I'm curious. I want to probe his mind about it. If he wins, if he loses, I'm not gonna message him. Of course, it's disrespectful. But otherwise, I would question. So now, ByuN moving forward, stims in, takes down the Disruptor, massive pickup, takes down the Disruptor, doesn't quite get on top of the Colossus. Colossus is going to go down as well. Creator, he's cut in half. Yeah, he's out of position. And ByuN, he will take down the army, takes down one, takes down the other. Yeah, and Creator's being pulled apart. ByuN, he will snowball out of control, takes down the Nexus, takes down the expansion. And mate, we're looking to make a series out of this. We're looking to make a series out of this. The base is going to fall. And ByuN has a massive lead. As we saw, I mean, hey, the forward base also very isolated from the 3rd and 4th. They're so spread out. Creator caught with only half his army. He got cut in half. And ByuN, he's going to snowball into a win here. Which is kind of what we expected coming into Frostline. But despite that, Creator had such a strong start. It was crazy. The start from Creator, despite that though, is being pulled apart left and right. He cannot keep up with the drop play. GG gets called, and ByuN, he fights back. Whew, he does fight back, does put a point on the board. Regardless, impressive play there, impressive display from Creator to be able to have such a strong start to begin with, to be able to shut down the initial drop play, the initial stim timing, the initial Banshee and tank as well. But alas, as he was attempting to expand, attempting to get into the mid game, he was torn apart. If it wasn't for that, we would have seen a longer game for certain. We would have seen a longer back and forth, but it's just so awkward to defend these bases, so awkward to defend these locations on Frostline, as we saw. And now we get to embrace some of these smaller maps, some of these more aggressive maps. Oh boy, the comeback has begun, and I do favor ByuN coming into not just Frostline, into Errorhome as well. For those that are curious, Errorhome is an older TLMC map, and Errorhome is a rush map. It's very small, very short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored. Aggression does get across the map even faster. We'll see how ByuN takes advantage of this map. We'll see if Creator can still open up defensively and survive the aggression, assuming that ByuN is going to be aggressive. I feel like it's a safe assumption, but we're going to find out. We are going to find out. I thought only observer was on ByuN's base, but he must have others. We did zoom in. I mean, I guess it's a... We did zoom in. There was an observer in the center of the map. That's why we were praising the observers of Creator. There was an observer in the center that was following the army towards the top side. But here we go. We're getting into game number 4. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of our home, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Red Protoss player, the Red Protoss, leading the series 2-1, one game away from becoming our champion. It is a Creator. Yes, we did point it out. We were mentioning how, like, Creator, his observer, was seeing the rotation specifically in the top half of the map, following that northern army. So he did see the rotations, and he saw the consolidation as well. That's why Creator did respond. That's why we were giving Creator praise, at least for that one observer. Meanwhile, Creator, he does scouts, he's looking for proxies. I don't blame him. Does check for proxies on the right-hand side before moving out across the map. And again, welcome one and all to Erahome. Erahome is a very small map. You can see here, there is certain advantages on Erahome. So you have a ramp coming into the natural. You have a ramp coming into the third base. Relatively narrow ramps, or at least more narrow than Frostline, for example. Like, Frostline is the extreme. Here, a little bit more narrow. Likewise, a very narrow choke point here in the center of the map. But that is all because it's one screen from third to third. Like, this is the third base pack. So it's one screen basically from base to base. This is what divides the two players from their own, halves of the map. Because of that, aggression can be favored. Reinforcements get across the map so quickly as well. So we'll see how our players will approach this. We shall see. I think the rush distance by ground is comparable to that of El Dorado if both players mine through the mineral patches. If both players mine through those minerals and if they expand towards each other, I think it's comparable. It might be the same, maybe this might be slightly shorter. I'm not entirely certain as to that. But for now, we do have our racks into factory, into starport. Again, this was double gas opener. We are setting up. Actually, I'm not too certain as to the opener. But regardless, ByuN getting to his 1-1-1. Initially with a mine drop. What's important, though, is the tech lab follow-up. This should be mine drop into... I mean, I'm assuming that we're going to go for a tech lab. We'll see if ByuN makes additional widow mines. Oh, he is. Second widow mines on the way. Behind this, robo opener. Same build every game. Every game so far in the series, it's been the same exact build here at a Creator. Robo into Twilight Council, into Charge. Into delayed Colossus, into delayed +1 is what we expect at a Creator every game so far. Hallucination does confirm the 1-1-1, does confirm the Widowmine drop. So last time this Hallucination saw the Banshee play, this time he confirms the mine drop. So now Creator is aware of what's happening, he's aware of what's going on. Oh, the turtles. The turtles. And the drop is spotted. And it will chase it down. So far, Creator, he's all over this drop. Likewise, we can see the factory only being used for add-ons. So only add-ons here. And I love to see that ByuN is faking Cloak. It's faking Cloak. Researching the Matrix. Or actually, that might be real. We'll get into it. For now, Mind Drop does get into the main. Mind Drop gets in. Oh my god, a late pull away. 2 probes go down. But the Widow Mines are cleaned up. Widow Mines are cleaned up in the end. No other potential drop play. Medevac takes a lot of hits. Now, typically, whenever we research Interference Matrix, it's usually a fake out to try to make it look like Banshee. But, okay, that is a fake out. Never mind. It was a fake out, is what we usually expect. Now, I was gonna say that because Creator plays so robo-heavy, I want to say there's a place for Interference Matrix here, specifically against Creator, but we don't get it. We don't get it in the end, so ByuN just cancels, plays out standard. I got excited for a moment. ByuN moves out. Stim only just began. And ByuN is only vying for map control. He has no pushing power because he has no stim. Likewise, Creator takes a third base, moves out to meet any kind of aggression. Auto charge fast into the main. And there's that charge. There's that charge. Once the third base finishes, that's when we typically see the Bay and the Forge into +1 and into Colossus. So we're getting there. Now again, the rush distance by ground is shorter, but I would say the bases here are more defendable than on Frostline. Again, the biggest issue with Frostline is the bases are just so far away from each other. Here on Airhome, and on most maps, I should say, the third base is a lot closer to the natural, and likewise so is the fourth. So rotating between the bases is a little bit easier on this map, if you can spot the army rotations though. If you can spot ByuN ahead of time. Servers are moving out. There's that prism here for Creator to reinforce, to micro back. Stim is finishing up. And as ByuN breaks down these rocks, he is expanding and getting a third CC. This is not a 2-base all-in, he's expanding. We have the Observer over the natural. The Observer does confirm the CC, so Creator, he knows there's no all-in. Ooh, and the armies are missing each other. The armies, they do pass by each other here, or do they clash? They will. They will clash in the center with the force fields. Does force field, does lock down the army. Slightly better trades here for Creator, as he does pull away. Does pull back. Trying to bait the army out into the open. More Zealots coming in. And ByuN has to race back home. Does have to race back. Consolidates his forces. More reinforcements on the way. Even getting an Archon. Ooh, there was an earlier Templar Archives. Oh, my apologies, didn't notice that. Not into a Bay. No Colossus. Interesting. No Colossus this time, so Creator, he's mixing it up. Instead of Colossus going for Storm, or at least going for Archons initially. Warping in more Archons. This is a much more aggressive style out of Creator, making use of the map, making use of Airhome. So as you can see, Archon reinforcements, they arrive a lot faster than Colossus, of course, as you can just warp them in. But Creator, he does pull away, going for the Immortal drop. Okay. He pulls away, takes gases, and starts Storm. It looks like he was hoping that maybe ByuN would push out and they would clash, but there was no aggression. Immortals into the main. Takes down the reactor. Trades against the ByuN. Oh no! Oh my god. Creator, he does overstay his welcome, force a recall. He will save the Prism. But he took a lot of damage on the Prism and on the Immortal. So a bit of a lapse in judgment there. Does escape. Does get away. Meanwhile, ByuN, likewise building up his forces. His Ghost on the way as well. I appreciate that instead of using this Raven for auto-charge harass, he is preserving the energy for a for the missile, for the anti-arm missile. Can be very effective against a charge-based army, or against a gateway army in general. Speaking of, there it is. Missile goes up, massive storm. Oh my god, the storms are brutal. Storms are insane. Army is softened up. But I believe those are the only storms. Now, one High Templar left. One Templar in the Prism. And the missile is going to run out. So very nice defense here from Creator. He storms, he shuts down the push. He's holding. But he does need more High Templar. Right now he's only got 2, but there we go. Now he's up to 4. So 4 High Templar. Gathering energy. Like, Creator, he is so heavily reliant on these storms. If the storms do not connect, then ByuN can break through. Or I should say, if the High Templar get EMP'd, ByuN can also break through. Like, that's typically why Colossus are a bit of a safer way to play this out, because Colossus are consistent splash damage. Storm is not. Storm is reliant on your control and your opponent's control as well. Armies do clash, Storm coming in, there's the first EMP, oh, the Prism goes down! Massive pickup. Prism goes down, 2 High Templar fall. Charge-outs are rushing in, but there's not many Zealots here, there's no reinforcements. There's still 1 Storm in the chamber, and ByuN is forced back. But again, that was a brutal loss for Creator. Still pushing forward though. Oh my god. Still has that 1 Storm, doesn't want to waste it. Does pull away, Prism's being rebuilt. EMP does catch the High Templar, there's still 1 Storm though. 1 High Templar back line. More High Templar coming in. Another EMP. Yeah, the EMPs are brutal. He sims in, he collapses on the army, and ByuN, he will clean everything up. GG gets called. ByuN will tie up the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Again, losing that Prism, losing 3 High Templar was brutal there. Creator, he ran out of storms. Even towards the end, the EMPs were brutal, just catching them out. And the reason why the EMPs were brutal is because there was no War Prism. There was no way to save and preserve those High Templar and protect them from the EMPs. They were vulnerable. They were shut down. GG. GG, well played. With that, ByuN, he snowballs out of control. Now we're making our way into the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends on Talisman. Let's go. Let us go. As we are once again loading into a smaller map. Now, this is not as small as Airhome. It is slightly longer, slightly larger, but still very aggressive. We'll get into it as we load into Talisman. Oh boy. Let us go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Talisman, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion, tying up the series, bringing it back. He was down 2-0, by the way, and he's brought it all the way back to the ace match. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself from South Korea, being forced to the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is a Creator. We go. So unusual to see Protoss go charge before blink every game like this. I mean, again, that's a little bit more common when it comes to robo-based openers, but yeah, it's really unique. It is unique. It is something I'm pretty sure that Creator has come up with this build and come up with this playstyle. I say that just because we cast a lot of StarCraft here, and literally no one else is playing like this, which is why I'd be curious to probe Creator's mind, but it does depend on the outcome of this series. For now, double gas out of ByuN is opening up more aggressively. Here we go. 8 minutes, still no forge. Yes, so we noticed that last game, Creator, he had a different variation. Winding it back a little bit before we talk about the map, because there's a lot to talk about. But when it comes to the previous game, it did seem like Creator was being more all-in. Because he had gone for the Temple Archives instead of the Bay, he didn't go for the Forge, he didn't go for +1, anywhere near as even as quick as he usually does. And that's why he felt pressure to just keep pushing to commit, and alas, in the end, of course, he fell apart. But it was a much more aggressive style, which I feel like is partly because of the map itself, because of Airhome. So Creator, he did adjust. But now we're loading into Talisman. Coming into Talisman here, we have a triangular third, which you can take early on. You can see here, this is a mineral kind of path that a worker can go through. A worker can go through this mineral path, a unit cannot. So a Marine, a Zealot, a Zergling cannot get through this path, but a worker can, so you can expand a little bit easier. You can also probe scout and worker scout easier as well. Oh, hello, Creator. As he does hide his probe, but so you can take this triangular third base. Likewise, it is a hybrid base as well with gold patches, and these two patches in the center are a little bit they're a little bit smaller. There's less minerals here to actually gain access to that base with your ground army. Likewise, if you take this base, you can expand towards your opponent and take another hybrid base and be hyper aggressive and push in towards the bases. So you can expand aggressively here on this map. Meanwhile, the pylon has been thrown down. Twilight Council opener. Are we going proxy DT? Are we going for a proxy Dark Shrine? No shot. No shot. DT based openers are a thing in this matchup, and they can, we have actually seen Geralt kill ByuN with it before on Oceanborn. It was a couple of months ago at this point, but that is something we could see. And yep, there it is, Dark Shrine. Risky, very risky. This can kill a Terran, but we'll get into it as we do have the initial Reaper Hellion diving in towards that base. So far, the Adept is holding on, but we have the Stalker coming down to low ground. Adept taking a lot of hits, and the Adept is going to go down. And from here, ByuN is getting access towards the mineral line. The boys are being pulled. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. Hellion is targeted, but what about the Reapers? What about the Reapers as they focus down the Stalker? Brutal damage already. Stalker goes down, Adept goes down, boys are falling. And before Creator can get into his build, he's losing too much. Oh no. 4, 5, 6 probes going down. Is this how the series is? Is this how it ends? Is this how it all ends? Papi, 7 kills, 8, 9, 10, 9 workers go down, and now he's there's things looking bleak here. Now, first things first. If ByuN mules, he just muled. If he mules again, if he mules at the wrong moment, the game can end. That's how this build kind of works here. We're going to be warping in some DTs, and if ByuN he's going for the Raven. He's going for the safety Raven. Oh no. He's fine. He's fine. Ah, no. DTs are welling in. I mean, the Raven is halfway done, so there's like a window of opportunity here. Meanwhile, we get a mine drop into the main. Mine shots go up. And here come those DTs. Alas, we're seconds away. Now, this DT can get some damage done. We'll kill some Marines. We're going to get some SCV kills as well. But alas, yeah, the Raven pops. The Raven popped out and GG gets called. Again, we were heavily reliant here on no detection on the mules. It was just a big gamble here from Creator. Raven popped, GG. GG, well played. ByuN will take the series. GG, well played. It was close. It was a very close, very clutch series. I mean, again, Creator, he started the series off so well. And even on Frostline, remember Frostline? Creator had such a strong start. He was able to scout and punish. He was able to shut down the initial Hellion Reaper aggression. Then he scattered and he forced the cancellation of the Banshee tank follow-up. And then he sniped Stim. Like, everything was going so well for Creator on Frostline. It was almost a 3-0. And then Creator, he got caught with his pants down. Like, that's the reality here. Creator, he got caught with his pants down. If you remember, Creator, he had half his army at his would-be 5th base, and he had half his army like in between his 3rd and 4th, and so his army was split in half, and he just got caught in half as well. He just got cut in half. We saw ByuN just collapse on the 5th. He surrounded the 1st army, then he collapsed on the 2nd army. Like, everything just went from bad to worse real fast, real quick on Frostline, and then from there went the way of ByuN with some more of these unorthodox maps, to be fair, with Arrowhole and Talisman. To be fair, it was Creator who just was crazy, and he went proxy DT on Talisman, which again is viable, and ByuN has lost to it before, but ByuN, he was playing safe. He went for the Raven. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, ByuN, he will claim the series. ByuN, he will claim it. GG, well played. Congratulations, ByuN, he will claim the series, will advance on, and will be our champion this week. Congratulations. Congratulations. So GG, well played. And yeah, with that, congratulations again. Shout out to ByuN, by the way, for having the tenacity to be down 2-0 and to bring it back as well, right? He didn't give up. He didn't. He persevered despite everything going against him, and yeah, was able to bring it back. GG, well played. GG, well played. So with that, congratulations to ByuN. Also, I'm asking ByuN, at least his perspective, asking him about the build, and he said that Classic and Hero, they sometimes do it. It's like, okay. Sometimes. Creator, he relied on it quite a bit here tonight. And I mean, again, to success, to be fair. To success in the first 2 games. And almost in the others. But with that, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Congratulations to ByuN. If you want to support this tournament, you can do so via Matcherino, !Matcherino in the chat, and you'll get a link to the Matcherino page of this event. You can help support the players through that if you wish. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. This was our morning broadcast. We're going to be live once again in a couple of hours with our next event, with the Pondcast. Quickly switching over here. Bam. we have our weekly schedule. So here we are Thursday morning, we just wrapped up with the Turtle Tussle, and Thursday evening at 7 p.m. KST, we're going to be live with the Pondcast. That is going to be in 6 hours. In 6 hours time, we're going to be live on this channel with the Pondcast. So if you're in the Americas, you can maybe wake up early. If you're in the Americas, it's a really rough time zone for you, so time slot for you, I should say, so most likely going to be asleep. If you're in Europe, just as you wake up. If you're in the southern hemisphere, or if you're in Oceania or Southeast Asia, then at a more prime time for you, we do have the Podcast. That is our weekly talk show where we do go over all the results of the week's tournaments, as well as any news to go over as well. This week there was an interview with ByuN, so we're going to be going over ByuN's interview. There was an interview with MMA, he had an interview with Zombie Gob, so we're going to be discussing that. Sort of made a video regarding his future in SE2, so we're going to be discussing Sort of's video. Likewise, TLMC finalists have been announced for Team Liquid map contest number 20, so we're going to be going over those maps alongside all the other news of the week. So there's a lot to go over this week. There's a lot to indulge in, and I need to get ready for that. I'll be honest, I haven't watched the interview yet with MMA, so I do have to watch it ahead of time so we can discuss it. And same with ByuN's interview, I do have to read up on it. It is in Swedish, I believe, so it's going to be rough translations for the Swedish interview, but we'll be going over that as well. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be up to in between casts, and I'll try to get some sleep. I'll be honest, I just woke up for this event, and we'll try to get some sleep, try to get some veg. Oh. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Just catching up with the chat. MMA, you say? Yes, MMA. He was interviewed a couple of days ago. Or I should say the interview was released a couple of days ago. So we'll be going over that. Catching up. Yeah, it makes a raid. Yeah. ByuN floating so good, one could say he's got good buoyancy. Had to stretch for that one. Sure. Even the players like the gamba. They do like the gamba. Can confirm. I was hoping you could ask about Creator's build. Next time, I'll ask him. But yeah, I'm not gonna message him now. Like, it's not after a loss. Has English version of the website. Okay. Yeah, get some sleep, Pappy. Get some sleep. It's all good. He's making a comeback? No. Just an interview regarding the history of StarCraft. Chances creative. Yeah, for sure. But with that, hope you'll enjoy yourselves. Hope you'll had a great time. Again, this is our weekly schedule, so we're going to be live in 6 hours. Tomorrow, we're going to be live with Amantes. We have the final day of OSC Season 12 Championship on Friday as well. We have the KSL on Saturday. We have SEL, we have FSL, and Sparkling Tuna Cup STC on Sunday. So our schedule is packed as always. We are live twice a day, every single day except for Wednesdays. Wednesdays we do have half a day off where I was streaming some Final Fantasy. We're playing some Final Fantasy. So you can check that out over on my personal channel. I try to stream whenever I can, but this week has been very busy for us, and I've been falling behind a little bit when it comes to scheduling VODs, just because we spent so much time deleting VODs because of the changes to Twitch. So again, Twitch, they've kind of like abolished their VOD system, and we had to make sure everything was ported and exported over to YouTube. If you're out there, if you see something that you like here, and if you cannot watch it live, then check it out on YouTube. Socials in the chat. You get a link to our Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Discord, Instagram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, all things Cranky Ducklings. Again, we upload to YouTube on a daily basis. And yeah, I got some work to do. I'm going to catch up on the interviews. I'm going to schedule some VODs. Then I'll get a bit of a nap, and then we'll be back with the podcast. Non-stop StarCraft here on the channel. Next week should be a little bit lighter for us, which I look forward to. It's been an intense year. Like, this has been our schedule basically all year. and it's only recently that we started having half a day off, but we've been having a very, very intense schedule this year, and coming into March, we should be easing back a little bit. You know, OSC Season 12 Championship is wrapping up, and we're going to be wrapping up a lot of our other costs as well, so looking forward to it, and looking forward to sleeping eventually. Let's go. Sleeping properly, I should say. Otherwise, if you want to help support us, you can do so via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. You can see we just reached our goal on Patreon, kind of, to be honest, to be transparent. We reached our goal for the next day or so, but on the 28th of February, it does reach the end of the month, and we did have some cancelled patrons, so the goal is the amount we get on Patreon is going to drop down after the end of the week. But we are looking to maintain our current goal on Patreon. If you're curious, what is that goal? 400 USD a month is to boost the prize pool and to increase the prize pool specifically of Sparkling Tuna Cup. Right now, Sparkling Tuna Cup only pays out top 2, but if we can reach that next goal, we can pay out top 4 alongside it. So that is the goal. That is the current goal. We do have another goal after this once we can maintain this. The next goal would be to boost the prize pool for our amateur events. Almost there. Almost there. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Do stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live? Who is live at the moment? Who can we raid? Who can we send everyone over to? Let's have a look. Let us have a look. We'll find someone. Yo, Sugar is streaming. Let's go. Password as well. Jason and Smile are playing Zelda. Of course they are. But we'll find someone. I see Neuro streaming. Find someone to send everyone over to. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We'll see you guys tomorrow or in 6 hours with our next cast. See you then. See you next time. Ciao. Papi ciao. See you next time.